So I've created my data entry form and I've got my data in here, which is fantastic. The next thing I want to do is to make this form a little more user friendly. So how do I do that? Well, I can either do it with the form closed or form open. It doesn't actually matter because this is the form I'm working on. Remember that when you're working in a database, only ever have the one object that you're working in open at once. So I want to go, that was a right click on the form, the name of the form, and go to design view. Now I can see what's going on here. Be really, really careful in here. Don't change any names or values in these fields. That breaks the database. These ones, the titles, we absolutely can. And in fact, I'm going to, because I used my camel casing technique. It's actually neater and nicer if I name my fields properly according to grammar as opposed to programmers' naming conventions. And DOB. Who knows what a DOB is? So we'll call it a date of birth. I'm trying to make this as easy as possible for my end user to read and understand. Now the other thing is that I don't actually need to keep full address. I can call this address book. If I really wanted to, which I will this time around, if I double click on one part here, on the part of the form header, I can change my background color if I really want. In fact, I can change it to blue. And I can change my text color somewhere in here. Font color. So I'll change that to white. So the white on the blue. Now I'm not going to muck around too much in here. You can set background pictures. You can do all sorts of funky stuff. And it's a good idea that you do to some extent. But a few golden rule here. Don't change any names in these fields because that breaks stuff. And when you move, if you move an object around, you will see, unless you do undo that, unless you want to, you're moving the field and its title at the same time. If you want to move just the ID field, so that's this part here without moving its title, then you grab the square at the top and that will move it separately. But I'm not moving them around because I kind of like things to be neat. The next thing I want to do is to build a navigation structure onto my form. So I'm going to save my form and pull down the footer so I can put some navigation, some buttons here. Whoops, what was that? Put some buttons here to make my form more user friendly. And you'll see I already have my design tools open. If you don't have this open, click on design. Just in case you're over here at database tools, click on design. And what we're looking for is a button. And I think it's one of them. So if you don't know what a thing is, put the mouse over and it says button. Put the mouse over, what's that? That's something else. What's that? That's a label. Put the mouse over, it's a button. Good. So what I want to do is build onto this form navigation. So I can go forwards, backwards, first, last, and close. So that's 5 buttons I'm going to do. Next record, previous record, first record, last record, and also a button to close the form. They're all done in a similar way. So I'll make my button here, and the wizard opens, which is perfect. It's exactly what I want. I want to do a record navigation, and I actually want it to go to next record. So that's going to be next. I can do it via text, or I can do it via picture. I'm going to do it via picture, reason being that this is then taking away the need to read English. It should work. Oh, and we'll see here, there is my option, there is my picture. If I choose the arrow right, I get an arrow. Either of them is fine. Next. I don't actually need to name this, but I'm going to name it though, CMD next. Again, 3-letter prefix and a name relevant to what it is, and finish. And you'll see straight away, there is my button for next. Fantastic. Do the same thing again. This time I'm going to go to my last record. So same thing here, same thing again, record navigation, go to last record. Next, and you'll see again the picture. Next, CMD last. Same again for previous, same again for first. So I will do them without recording. And the final thing I want to show you is I'm going to close this form. So I'm going to get a new button, and it's going to be a form operation this time. Close form. And you'll see the picture's already there for me. Next, exit doorway or stop. I prefer the exit doorway because it shows that I'm leaving. You can choose whatever you like. You can even choose the option that says close form, whatever you like. So CMD close form, closed form. If I could type it would be good. Done. All right, and there's my closed form. Now I would expect that to actually be at the very right hand side. You decide what your navigation is going to look like. I'm going to put a couple more buttons over on this side, but not while I'm recording. And you see I've got a navigation structure. When I start the next video, you'll see the navigation structure at work. So I'm just going to save that and we're done.